Due to the rapid growth in the Chinese economy, a corresponding impetus has been given to outward investment from China, with various offshore financial centers around the world clamoring to attract Chinese investors. Located near the French coast is the British dependency of Jersey, which hopes to draw support from investment Hong Kong in order to expand its China market business. Not long ago, a seminar about business in Jersey as well as in Hong Kong was held. Let's see our reporters' observations and report.
Hello, I'm Julie. This is Lamar's Wine Estate in Jersey. The seminar entitled With Hong Kong Gateway to China is held here. The organizers locate Jersey, CBBC and InvestHK try to explore the opportunities in doing business in China by using Hong Kong as a springboard.
The Jersey seminar is being held at the tourist resort of Lamar Wine Estate, and it is organized by the local government in Jersey, InvestHK, as well as by the CBBC. The participants at the event include local government enterprises, along with representatives of companies from different areas, planning to enhance their business links with China.
Well, we've been working with many overseas jurisdictions, and Hong Kong is one of those. We went to Hong Kong and China last October. We met with InvestHK and have a very good relationship with them. And they asked us if they could do an event in Jersey about Hong Kong Gateway to China. And we said that's a very good idea. We'd like to do that with them as long as we can have a reciprocal event later in the year in Hong Kong with Jersey Gateway to Europe. So very, very pleased to work with other representative organisations like our own for mutual benefit.
Jersey's Minister for Economic Development first of all introduced the island's position and advantages.
Well, Jersey, as one of the Crown dependencies, has a unique constitutional position with the United Kingdom, and it dates back 800 years to the time of William the Conqueror, when William the Conqueror, who was a part of Normandy, invaded the United Kingdom, and the Channel Islands, as part of Normandy, went as part of that arrangement. We had a choice in 1206 whether to go back to France or whether to actually remain loyal to the English Crown. So our relationship is with the English Crown. We decided to stay British. We are now a British colony as such, or Crown dependency to be more accurate, and as such we set our own laws, we have our own government, we set our own taxes. We are, for all intents and purposes, independent, but under the protective umbrella of the United Kingdom. Starts with the first step. We've taken that first step. It's really important to us as an economy that we develop trading opportunities with Hong Kong, through Hong Kong and to Greater China. There are a lot of opportunities both for outward investment from businesses within these islands to access those markets, but also inward investment for Chinese markets and businesses to access Europe, for example, utilising Jersey.
Jersey is hemmed in between the British Isles and the European mainland. It is located 20 kilometers from the French Normandy coastline, has an area of 116.2 square kilometers, and a population of 76,000. This makes it the nearest to France in geographical terms among the Channel Islands group, as well as being the largest of the islands in terms of both area and population.
Yeah, it's a very popular destination. People love the island, and I think what they like most of all is the fact we've got the sea and the land so close together, and the cliff faces and so on. So, like, as an island, it's a beautiful, small, understandable place which people really enjoy.
As an island with a pleasant climate, Jersey has become a famous holiday resort, famed for its tourism and livestock farming industries. Possessing an independent low-tax environment, the financial services and e-commerce sectors have become the pillar industry for the island. Thus, although the island consists of only a very small area, 47 of the world's top 500 banks and 183 trust companies were founded here, with the scale of funds managed reaching £175.9 billion, which is equal to 1.89 trillion yuan. InvestHK actively demonstrates Hong Kong's advantages to Jersey investors.
Hong Kong Economic and Trade Office in London's job is to represent Hong Kong in the UK. So they promote cultural links, they promote trade, and they promote investment. And when it comes to attracting foreign direct investment from the UK, Invest Hong Kong has a small team based inside that ETO.
Lise Bertelsen, Executive Director of London office CBBC, states that cooperation between Hong Kong and Jersey on the issue of jointly developing the Chinese market can provide many benefits to both parties.
It can be really useful because, as we talked about today, there's the rule of law. It's much easier to set up in Hong Kong. You can do it very, very quickly. In China, setting up a company, it takes months. In Hong Kong, you can do it in an afternoon. And you need very little registered capital to do it, and yet it gives you access into that market. So it is a good stepping stone to look at the market, particularly if you're not sure whether it's for you. It may be a route into that market. I also think for a lot of, for example, brands, if they set up in Hong Kong, a lot of Chinese tourists, China's, I think 72% of all tourists into Hong Kong last year were from mainland China. These people come to shop and they look at what's available, not even just products, but also services. They look at the signs on the buildings. So getting known in Hong Kong is a fast track to getting known in China.
Currently, Jersey-registered companies can list on 12 global stock markets, including the London Stock Exchange, the Alternative Investment Market, the Nasdaq, the New York Stock Exchange, and Euronext, etc. In addition, last year, Jersey-registered company gained permission to list on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange. However, Chinese investors usually choose to register in the British Virgin Islands and the Cayman Islands. Jersey's Chinese entrepreneurs offer an opinion on this issue. With regard to the benefits of registering an offshore entity in Jersey, let's listen to the opinions of the distinguished participants.
I would say because of the profile of Jersey Island is still quite low in Asia. So, in the Asian market, the offshore centers are still dominated by BVI and Cayman Island. But Bermuda's as well. But I think it's mostly, we'll use BVI and Cayman Island, they're dominating. I think it's because of that reason, a lot of the Chinese advisors, they don't have the in-depth knowledge of Jersey to advise those Chinese clients. UK property, is potentially subject to a few UK taxes. For example, income tax on rental income, capital gain tax, or the inheritance tax. Okay, if the property itself is being owned by individual names, so you might be potentially, will be subject to all these taxes. But if you were to use an offshore structure, for example, setting up a Jersey company to hold the property instead of under your own name, so those taxes can be avoided or reduced. We don't do a lot of the business being invested here or registered here. Our fiduciary service, the main core business are wealth management, wealth protection. So what we do a lot in the Chinese client perspective is wealth management and also tax mitigation structures. By giving you a few examples would be, we see a big number of the wealthy Chinese family moving to UK, but one thing they often are neglected is the UK taxes. The situation is, if you become a UK domicile resident, you will be subject to worldwide tax. The way to potentially avoid or mitigate that problem will be to set up a pre-immigration trust to transfer your assets into a trust. That way, the assets in the trust will not be your own personal assets. Then, as a result of that, you will not be subject to UK tax.
The esteemed participants then went on to discuss the burning issue of offshore economies and share their experience and lessons learned on this subject.
Jersey looks to Hong Kong because it recognises that China and the Hong Kong markets present very good opportunities for the private wealth side and indeed some of the corporate side of the business in Jersey to develop and grow more opportunities coming back from that way as well?
I suppose the way to describe it is that Jersey would like to think of itself as more of a luxury brand in financial services than some of the other jurisdictions that China and to a lesser extent Hong Kong have always worked with. But again, it's our challenge to get that across. What do we mean by that? We mean more relationship. We mean much more attention to detail, to the totality of a client's affairs, not just first generation, second generation and so on. So there's a lot of dialogue to be had.
Now, Hong Kong in itself is a very logical gateway to China, and Chinese markets representing huge opportunities for clients across the world. And whether they choose their offshore or regional office in Hong Kong or any other cities ultimately depends on the business itself. That's definitely the trend. And bear in mind that the emerging markets as a whole is going to definitely outperform over developed markets. And China's story is not going to go away. It's set to be the biggest economy by 2050. Again, this is hugely attractive.
This November, a forum promoting Jersey as a gateway to Europe will be held in Hong Kong. This is Jingnan, Mark, Sally reporting from England.